Welcome to another episode of eCom Experiences, a podcast for e-commerce marketing leaders who want to grow and scale their brands faster. Join us as we interview some of the smartest brand founders and marketing leaders in the industry. Explore the lessons they learned, discover the keys to their success, and discuss what excites them most about the future.
Hi, it's Samir Balwani here, host of eCom Experiences, where we talk to brand founders and marketing leaders about their experiences growing brands. This episode is brought to you by VKTRY. VKTRY is a paid media agency that helps brands balance brand awareness and performance marketing to drive predictable and profitable growth. To learn more about how we can help you, visit weareqry.com. I'm really excited about our guest today. I have Ryan Regan, the director of e-commerce at VKTRY. He's super smart, has a huge permit, and I'm excited to chat and learn more. Thank you for joining, Ryan.
Thanks for having me, Samir.
Amazing. So let's get started. Can you tell me about VKTRY? I think the brand story is probably one of the coolest brand stories I've ever heard. So I'd love for you to start from the beginning, if you don't mind.
Yeah. So VKTRY insoles are a customized full-length carbon fiber insole. They help athletes jump higher, land softer, run faster, and help protect against injuries. These were originally invented in 2010 for the U.S. Olympic national bobsled team. The founder, Matt Archiolo, was their foot podorathist, and he was experimenting with carbon fiber around the time, and he asked them, how would getting a little bit extra boost on the run to start help you with the race? And they basically responded of, it would be the difference between gold and not finishing in some cases. So he ended up making a prototype for him that year in 2010, and they ended up winning the gold medal that year.
So cool. I love it. I love a product that has like an amazing start to a story, and something that includes the Olympics is like credibility right off the bat, right?
So yeah. And our whole company is like very much family oriented. Our VP of marketing now is Drew Archiolo. He is the son of the founder. His mom, Fee, she works for us as well, doing a bunch of great stuff. Matt's still involved, so it's a great company.
That's amazing. All right, so tell us about your role, Ryan. What do you do?
Yeah, so I'm the director of e-commerce here at VKTRY. In 2022, towards the end of that year, they went viral on TikTok, and they had to expand quickly. Their sales were going crazy, even though they didn't have the stock to keep up with it in the beginning. And, they brought me in March of 2023 to help, expand the website and Amazon stores, to handle their new growth that they were experiencing.
That's awesome. And so what does like a day look like for you, Ryan? I guess just knowing that director of e-commerce is a pretty broad title, and a lot tends to fall under that. Talk to us about just kind of where your head's at on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, I mean, a day's going to change every day. It depends on what what coupon codes are working on the store, or what broke in the middle of the night. So mostly though in the mornings, always checking up to make sure everything's up and up, looking at the numbers from the previous day, how was everything spending. I look at our Amazon ads that we have through our agency, just make sure our ACoS stays where we want it. Basically just kind of look over everything. I'm almost always testing something on the website, so A/B test everything that we really can. So I'm always normally checking in on those, seeing what kind of results we're getting from there, mostly trying to, at this point, increase our conversion rates.
That's awesome. And so out of curiosity, why conversion rate? Why has that become kind of the center? And was there some kind of was there like an impetus that led you to say, hey, conversion rate's kind of where I need to be spending my time versus paid media or partnerships and influencer? Why conversion rate over anything else?
So, like I said, Drew Archiolo, he is our VP of marketing. He handles the influencer marketing. We have a couple other people on the team that help him out with that and for paid media. So luckily, I don't need to worry about that kind of stuff as much. Influencers are huge for us this year. We did a ton of influencer work last year, and we're doubling the amount that we're doing this year. So, it definitely is a huge part of the business. But for me on the website side, we get a ton of traffic to the site every month. Sometimes we're really in these past 3-4 months, we've been getting about 1 million users each month to the site. So converting just a little bit more, from say like a 1.3% to a conversion rate to a 1.35 would be, millions of dollars over the course of the whole year. So it's something that I'm always looking to optimize at the very least.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I know, Ryan, when you and I spoke previously, we talked about how you guys are doing a really good job on your segmentations and your persona building. How does that kind of play into your conversion rate testing and how you think about the website experience for people?
Yeah. So, I mean, conversion rate, even for us, isn't a super great metric. Yeah, I think you have to look at how your business is, what your customer journey is like. So for us, I'm always trying to increase the conversion, but we're never really going to have a great rate just because I probably say 40% of our traffic is from younger kids that are coming to our site that have no intent to actually purchase ever.
Interesting.
So we have to keep that in mind of, trying to educate and make this as cool product for, kids that are getting on and seeing this. And then when they send it to their parents, we also need it to be, a respectable looking website with cool videos that their kids liked and, talk to the parents about why this is a good product for them. So, it's conversion rate definitely is something we always try and improve, but at the end of the day, it's not, we have to do this. It's really we work a lot, or I work a lot on our landing pages, making sure, our paid ads that we do have specifically for parents, that parents landing page is converting better by, just running A/B tests, adding a quote here or something like that, changing the order on the page just to see what is most efficient.
Yeah, that's really interesting. You almost create this like matrix of segmentation because you have people interested in a specific sport, but then also the kids versus the adults. It's like kids that can't purchase for themselves, kids that can purchase for themselves, and then adults that are purchasing for their kids. And it's like this like 3-tier program that you have to. Um, that's awesome. So Ryan, tell me what's your favorite part about being a director of ecom? What gets you excited about your role?
I mean, number one, I love the team that we work with. I know it's a little cliche to say, but we really do have a great team. They're incredibly knowledgeable people. And it's been a blast just kind of learning this whole new industry. Insoles isn't a very exciting market for as a type of product, but I think we make it, really fun and exciting. But then, also at the end of the day, I love seeing the results of tests. I love looking and like having an idea of moving something on the page and seeing it increase conversion rate by 20-30%. You're just like, yeah, that was a good move. And just
Yeah.
adding little things like that and seeing little revenue drivers that you add up and just continue to make a big impact over time.
That's really cool. Um, let's talk a little bit about challenges. So, as you're looking ahead to 2024, what are the areas where you're uh, seeing that you're like, man, I got to figure this out?
There's a couple. One of the first ones is eliminating skepticism in our
Mm.
product. We have a high price point item for something that's not very flashy. It's not like shoes. It's a
Yeah.
little insole that you're putting on. Nobody's going to see it, and
Yeah. Yeah.
it's $149 for our high end model. Without a sale. So even though we do offer a 90-day back money guarantee, so we return it, no questions asked. You just say, I didn't like it. We return it for free. But it's a tough thing to overcome with a high price point for something that, isn't a very sexy item. So that's definitely one. And then a second is, we just kind of talked about it, is displaying our information in a concise and informative way that's not overwhelming. So this product, has a ton of different benefits to it. How much it can help with ankle pain, back pain, knee pain, all of that kind of stuff. This product is really made for anybody that's on their feet quite a bit, but we have to focus on, right now we're focusing on sports and specifically basketball, volleyball, running more into running, golf, and track and field, in 2024. But yeah, I mean, it's tough to try and cater to every single person because we have so much information and it's so beneficial for so many areas that we have to, really find what is the most important selling points for us and attack those.
That's really interesting. So, how are you overcoming the skepticism? Because I know that that's going to be tough. Any product that says that they do something, it's almost like, yeah, right, is the first thing that comes to mind. So, um, in your testing, what have you found to be the most effective for overcoming that? And then what are you excited about for testing this year?
Yeah, so reviews and videos have really seemed to help combat it a lot. A few of the tests that we ran last year, anytime I moved the review module on our page up higher, it always performed better.
Oh,
There was
interesting.
never a single test that I ran where I moved it below and it performed better. So definitely getting the top reviews up at the top where people can see them. And then, our group does a fantastic job with organic social videos, and they get a lot of really great content of kids seeing these things for the first time and trying them in their shoes. We do this thing called a shoe flip where we put our insole in the shoe and you squeeze the shoe down and it literally can shoot up. We've had it shoot to like 8 feet before up in the
That's
air.
cool.
So yeah, I mean, it's kind of about making like a product that's not very cool into something that is cool, and it's pretty funny. Our marketing director Drew is the face of all of our social videos, and he gets
Cool.
recognized in places that he goes by like little 15-year-old kids, and it's hilarious to
That's
see. He's
so
got
funny.
his own little crew.
He's got a following of his own. He's becoming an influencer himself. That's
Oh
what's
yeah, yeah.
happening.
It's really fun. He was just at the NBA All-Star game.
Oh, that's
And
super cool.
he was walking around, and there's a video on TikTok from us that people are like, "Oh, you're the guy," and he's just
I'm
got
gonna
his little
check that
army of
out. That's
people.
awesome.
Yeah,
That's so. I mean, you would think that as you guys build um, credibility in specific markets, that the need for skepticism will start to reduce, right? Because if word of mouth, you guys do have a challenge in that no one sees the soles because they are inside the shoe versus outside the shoe, and so it's not like you can go and watch a basketball game and be like, oh yeah, no, those guys are using it, not using it, right? And so
yeah.
it's a little harder from that perspective to overcome that skepticism. But I'm sure that as more and more people have it, as they talk about it, that need will start to diminish, right?
Yeah, and we've found that it becomes easier once we kind of, we call it storming. So we'll storm swarm. Sorry, we'll swarm this one sport. So we swarm specifically basketball and volleyball as our first couple that we were there, and now we're seeing that most basketball and volleyball players, like in the high school and college level, they're at least aware of who we are at this point. So we've definitely swarm those areas, and we're feeling good about our market share and our presence in those. But now it's about replicating what we've done there across a bunch of different sports, and then
Yeah.
after that into different professions.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Earlier on, you talked about how you tested reviews kind of up on the page versus below the page and the impact it had on your conversion rate. Can you talk a little bit more about that? Like, what did you test? Was it the actual review itself? Was it the stars? Have you tried influencer content to see how that performs on the conversion page? I'm just curious, like, what that structure looked like.
Yeah, so we use Okendo for our reviews. They create a couple different pre-built modules that are there.
Mm.
So one that we use has pictures and videos up at the top as well,
Okay.
and you can sort it with your best reviews first. And we found that moving that up to the top, it outperformed anything and everything, just because number one, it's a
Interesting.
real review. You're seeing it from a real person that's verified. Some of them, if you have a Google picture, it's showing like what your picture is
Mm,
there. And when you're showing like these kids or these parents that are normally posting videos of their kids and talking, how much they love the product, how much their kid loves this product, that just seemed, we haven't found anything yet
yeah.
at that really beats that. People really care about authentic reviews, and that's really what we try and do in a lot of our like organic social content as well, is just make this like, look, this is a product that is really going to help and is a great product.
Yeah, that's really cool. It's interesting. It comes to mind because we were talking about skepticism, and there's all this like AI generated content now, and like people are becoming even more and more skeptical of uh, the things that they see. Uh, I'm curious. Have you guys even had conversations around like what that looks like? I'm assuming that there's like a greater impetus on like offline events and programs like that to kind of help support. I'm assuming that's why Drew was at the All Star game and just like being there helps from that perspective.
Yeah, so we work with a group called Rivals. They're like a
Okay.
NFL combine for kids going into college. So getting
Yeah.
like, official score, tests of running, jumping, of catching ability and that kind of stuff. So we go to probably like 6 or 7 of these a year, and the season's actually about to start in 2 weeks. We're going to be in LA for our first one, and it's a complete difference. I mean, I went to my first one a year ago in Dallas, and the look you see on these kids' faces when, like, even you just take the insole, you can bend it and slap it on a table. It makes a really loud noise. It's carbon fiber, so it excites these kids like immediately. They're like, "Oh my god!" And then once you put it into their shoe and they put them on and they kind of bounce around, they kind of feel bouncy. It's like almost an immediate sale.
Super cool.
Like, I wish we could, like, it is something we've talked about. It's almost a guaranteed sale when you get this thing into the hands of the kid or the parent. So it's something that we're definitely trying to expand on, because once you do feel this product and try it in your own shoes and stuff, you're like, you become a believer real quick.
That's super cool. All right. So Ryan, as we look ahead to 2024 and the rest of the year, what are you most excited about? Like, what are the things that you're really looking forward to?
Yeah, there's a couple. One's gonna sound really generic, but AI,
Yeah.
it's here. You can't run from it, and there's some really cool stuff that's coming out. We were talking earlier about how we would love to give different kind of experiences based on your shopping habits or what you're interested in. AI can really help with that now. Um, even just displaying a couple landing pages a little bit differently based on somebody's shopping behavior or interests or things like that. So you can become really, you get really granular with each page that you are displaying on these people, or, to these users. And then, the ecom space was, not really stagnant for a while, but there wasn't, a ton of new stuff coming out. But now we've seen, especially with the rise of AI, so much is changing and
Mhm.
coming out. So I don't even really know what's going to be coming out in a couple years, but I'm sure there's going to be low hanging fruit, similar to how when like Facebook Marketplace and advertising came out, it was kind of really easy for a year or two. And I
Yeah.
think there's going to be more like low hanging fruit that people are going to be taking advantage of.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I agree with you. I think that there's been this explosion on the e-com side of all kinds of new tools and platforms and systems, and kind of combing through them to figure out what actually is going to be helpful versus what is just noise is kind of the key right now. And people that are getting in on the ground floor of some of the really new interesting tools are definitely getting a leg up. Um,
For sure.
have you guys already started incorporating AI into your website or the platform in any way?
Not really. So we do have a few things in the move in Q2. But the whole focus of Q1 was we did a big activation with Mac McClung, who just repeated as champion for the dunk contest, and so we're doing a giveaway where we give out $500,000 worth of victory
Oh, that's
insoles.
super cool.
So that all of our focus for the past, couple months has really been on that. But in Q2, we do have some email and SMS stuff coming up with AI, and then some landing page segmentation as well.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's really exciting.
Yeah.
Um, Amazing. All right, so I have one last question for you, Ryan. What advice would you give a new marketing director or director of e-commerce in their first 90 days?
Test anything and everything. Like, it, if
There
you
you go.
think, yeah, if you think you have an idea that's gonna, increase conversion or whatever, bounce rate or whatever you want to test, engagement on your site, test it. And I'm not a believer that you do need to run these things for 14 days. I think some of them you can tell pretty quickly, even if it's a way of, what you want to move towards on your site. But, test your landing pages, your product pages, and any apps that you're using. We just talked about it. Stuff is coming out, weekly, and there's always going to be something out there that could improve your something on your side of the business very easily.
Yeah, that's some great advice, Ryan. I have a follow up question based on that. How do you choose which landing pages to test?
I look for the most impactful ones first. So what we're driving most of our paid traffic to are on the
Right.
paid side is what I look for, and then what is our most organic rank there. So I'm looking at the highest converting and revenue generating pages first, and then kind of being able to make changes there, and then seeing what those changes are and trying to implement them on other parts of the site that maybe aren't as heavy on the traffic.
That's awesome. All right. I appreciate that. Amazing. Thank you so much for joining us today, Ryan. If someone wants to find you online, where can people learn more about you?
They can find me on LinkedIn and at VKTRY.com.
Amazing. All right. Ryan, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, Samir. Appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us. If you liked it, remember to subscribe so you'll be notified of new episodes. And if you know someone who would enjoy this show, don't forget to share and leave a review. It all helps us impact more brands. If you're looking to improve your paid media, go to weareqry.com and schedule a consultation. We're always happy to chat. See you for the next one.